in this section of the 5.2 homework, we're using that cofunction identity to simplify these, or we're an equivalent smaller expression. So our cofunction identities are, let's see, the cofunction, so cosine of t is equal to sine of the complementary angle to t, which is pi over 2 minus t, or 90 degrees minus t. And that's true for all three of the cofunctions. So there's cosine and sine, and then there's, and that's also true for the other way around. So cosine of pi over 2 minus t equals sine of t. And so there's really 6 of them. And then cotan of t equals tan of the complement of t, and vice versa. Whoops, sorry, that should be cotan, not sine. Cotan equals a tan of t, and so it's cosine sine, cotan tan. Well, I guess I don't know why I thought there was 3. Just those 2, so 4 really, since it goes both ways. Okay, so I'm going to use, look at 21 and 23 in our example here. So for number 21, we have tangent, so that is going to be this row, and I want to go to, they gave me an angle t, so I'll use this guy right here, where t equals 5 pi over 12, sorry. So that means that tan of 5 pi over 12 equals cotan of 90 degrees, or pi over 2 radians, minus that, which is, I'm getting a common denominator, I'll do 6 pi over 12 minus 5 pi over 12, which equals cotan of pi over 12. Okay, so that's 21. That's the equivalent relationship for 21. I'm also going to do 23. So this thing equals that. Those are equivalent. So let's do 23. I'll do 23 in green. So our t, now this time it says, yeah, okay, let's just do that as t. So t is a little more complicated. It's got 2 terms in it. And we have sine of that t is equal to, sine of t equals this guy. So I can do equals cosine of pi over 2 minus t, that's minus pi over 6 minus theta. So I'll use brackets on this guy. Equals cosine of, I'm going to distribute that negative and go minus pi over 6 and then plus theta. So that minus goes to both of those terms and flips that sign. And now I need to combine those fractions. So I need a common denominator of 6. So I'll do 3 pi over 6 minus pi over 6 Not much I can do with theta since I don't know what theta is. It's not a value, it's a variable. So that gives me cosine of 3 pi over 6 minus pi over 6 gives me 2 pi over 6 plus theta, which equals cosine of pi over 3, just reducing my fraction. And that's my final equivalent expression for this guy is equivalent to this guy.